What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Alright. So, a couple people have been asking or making statements. Mystic, you're coming back for Elsewhere, right? No, I'm not. I'm not coming back for Elsewhere. I didn't pre-order it. I'm not buying it. And when am I coming back to Elder Scrolls? Wow. That's a question. That's a good question. Now, first and foremost, let me go ahead and say that Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite games with lore and environment, and I think what Rich and the team are doing as far as content is amazing. Like Necromancer will be a good class, whatever. The content will be good. It will be. But the performance is shit. It's getting worse. And it's going to continue to get worse. And if you're waiting for the servers in Elder Scrolls Online to get better, I wouldn't hold my breath. So we're going to talk about that today. Here's a post by a player. It's called An Open Letter to ZeniMax Online Studio. ZeniMax Bethesda. Bethesda really doesn't have anything to do with this game. It's just ZOS. And, you know, I'm just going to address most of this. The TLDR is that you are failing. You are failing the gamer, the consumer, which will ultimately lead to failing your shareholders. Please, please get back on course ASAP. This coming April, yes, very soon, will be the 5-year anniversary of TESO PC launch. That is quite the accomplishment, and yet the current playability of TESO is arguably the worst it has been in that entire time frame. Now, I agree with that first statement. There has always been a little bit of lag, some, issues, bugs, things like that. But it's progressively getting worse. So I agree with this statement, just from the rip. Anyone that has entered Cyrodiil in the past year already knows that the latency, and that's very important. It's not about your frames, it's about latency. Latency is on their end, frames are on your end. Okay? Poof, poof, poof. Lag and input lag, all of the above is meme worthy. Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I will link a video or two below in which you can actually see 8 to 10 button clicks registering on the skill bar, but never actually firing the skill. Also, characters basically beginning skill animations, but they are abruptly stopping over and over with no skills ever actually firing. It's becoming too common. Again, the above will be nothing new to anyone that has played ESO in the past year. However, this is now also spilling over into everyday life, PvE zones of the game. I can no longer visit a guild trader without having to click multiple times just to begin dialogue with them. Then, when dialogue finally does open, the amount of time for searches to actually complete is almost as meme-worthy as Cyrodiil play. In fact, much like Cyrodiil, even opening a simple door to enter a bank in says Craglorn, for example, is often taking multiple clicks and several seconds to complete. Even mounting sometimes takes multiple clicks to perform in PvE zones. We will not even discuss permacombat and walking from Drakelow to Gladmist due to not being able to mount in Cyrodiil. Even clicking send on a mail with a couple of attachments, regardless of where in the game world I am, can often just hang and take 5 to 10 seconds to complete. In short term, there is no amount of pretty, no amount of great storytelling, and no amount of dragons that will what? That will what? Retain. What do I keep preaching? retention, retention, retention. What I imagine will be the large influx of new players when Elsewhere launches later this year, if the game's performance is still as it currently is. If someone like myself, with the insane amount of hours logged into TESO since original launch, is on the edge of uninstalling due to the current performance, how much more readily will a new player quit if they find the game to be virtually unplayable majority of the time? In closing, I realize that the above is really harsh sounding. Please realize that if I simply hated the game, I would not be here making a post, and certainly would not have the time and money invested in that I do. I want this game to succeed in every way possible. I love it. I simply pointing out what should be obvious and imploring anyone involved with the power to exact positive change to do so in time for what should be the most successful chapter in TESO to date. But it won't be. It will not be. If anything, this could be the biggest disaster that ZOS will face to date. And that's the truth. That is the harsh reality of the current situation. Now, here's some of the vids. That is so fucking sad. Now this is a PC player, you can tell. The mods. This is where it's going to start getting fucked up. That's a long one. I'm not waiting for that. It's going to happen towards the big thing. Before anyone says anything involving add-ons, please be aware that I played TSO with absolutely no add-ons installed, as well as tested LUA memory during usage during the play, just to be sure that it's not an issue. Performance did not change. It will not. It has nothing to do with your virtual memory. So people who keep saying that, please do yourselves a favor and shut the fuck up. It's not on your end with virtual. Shut the fuck up, you dumb fucks. Oh my god. The fact that that states such as Magicka are not going down during spam casting moments of rapid regeneration, for example, indicates that the ADR is not incorrect. Skills are simply not firing right. It's data, relay data. It's failing to respond in time. I have also switched from Comcast cable internet to 1 gig symmetrical fiber in the last year. Holy fuck me. Dude, yeah, that shit's real. Just in the name of checking that possibility out. Boy, I bet you paid a pretty penny. The connection test was 948 megabyte download and an upload of 426 ping rate to test server as expected. My PC specs: Intel 8700K CPU, 16 gigabyte 3200 RAM, M.2 SSD OS with ESO installed to a separate SSD. I mean, I don't know why you would do that. That's not necessary, but you know, whatever. An NVIDIA 1070 GPU. Second PC is AMD 2700, AMD 580 GPU. So they're using two different PCs to test this on and check. That's pretty good. With basically the same surrounding specs as the Intel PC. Both PC runs update Windows 10 Pro, yeah, with up-to-date BIOS and drivers. Yeah, it's nothing on your end. It's nothing. Okay. Avoid PvP like 80% of the player base. It will get better. That is pretty stupid thing to say to PvPers who only play the game solely for PvP. Yeah. So the problem with that, I used to be one of the, and it goes on and on and on. If you guys want to talk about the complaints about the performance and shit, go to the forums. It's littered. But here's why I'm saying don't fucking hold your breath. This is also on a post. I want to thank Irish Mage for sending this a couple days ago, about last week, to me. But it's worthy. So Rob Garrett, I have nothing but respect for Rob Garrett. Okay, the man's a legend. Please do not get me twisted, because I'm not going to talk ill about Rob Garrett. It's just not going to happen. Like Matt Fearer, I know he's the man. I'm not going to try to talk ill about these individuals. I have nothing but the utmost respect for these men. All right? So I will say that. But we have to get into it. We have to cover it. Based on the combats from Zoss, Rob Garrett, they're going to continue downplaying the bugs and glitches and not fix them. But don't worry, the Crown Store is working just fine. This is from the London Press event. This is a quote by Rob Garrett, supposedly. Slowing down content releases in the Great Fix patch. I spoke with Rob about the fast release of updates and if Zoss had considered doing a Great Fix patch for one of their updates. He said it's a question that they get a lot, and while it's not off the table, they as a company do need to produce for everyone, and a majority of the bugs and issues faced are not ones everyone's encountering or are drastically halting gameplay. I totally fucking disagree, but I do respect him, so I'm moving on. As such, they need to continue creating content for people who want new content to play and play at the higher level to notice if a skill or a mechanic works a little wonky. Okay. Okay. A little wonky? No. It's bad. It's bad. Dude has a 1 gig fiber, right? It's pushing out a 1 gig fiber, man. And the latency is that bad. What's that tell you? That has nothing to do with their end and their frames. Their specs are up to par. It's like, come on, man. Seriously, when are you going to stop and take the responsibilities? But I want to thank a company like Square Enix, who just upgraded 2 new servers. Thank you, because they didn't even need it, but they have the world thing, so they're like, yeah, we're anticipating it. We're putting in some new servers and stuff, and we're getting ready to do this. I'm like, yeah, that must be nice. That's what pisses you off. This is what pisses me off as a player. When a company says, guess what? We're going to do some things that's going to be a little hard on our end, right? Unless we do, upgrades, not just maintenance, but we have to upgrade, because we're going to integrate, we're going to transfer that software, we're going to, have our hardware, and then we're going to scale up our virtual system, right? So companies will keep investing in their product because it needs to happen. And then we have companies, and I can't pinpoint it. I can't put a blame on one person specifically. It goes from the top down, right? About what's being spent, where the money's going. But all the development in the world can't save your fucking ass if the hardware can't support it. The software is only good as the hardware, and the hardware is only good as the software. They are, symbiotic. They have a symbiotic relationship, right? It's just the way it is. So if you have really good software, but piss poor hardware, your software is unable to perform. If you have great hardware, but poor coding, well, you never get to see the quality, the true potential of what the hardware can deliver. So this is why I keep reintegrating why I'm not playing. It's not the bugs. I don't care about bugs. It's sure in the shit is not the content. The content is amazing. The devs do content justice. The content delivery is impeccable. It's the quality in which it's delivered. Right? It's just the quality. So I'm going to go ahead and check to see if we have any comments. We don't. So this is why I'm covering it. I'm going to say it for the last time. Why are players are leaving Elder Scrolls? People aren't flocking to it. They're leaving it. They're leaving it. And it's going to get worse. You don't whatsoever put shit off like this. This is a big fucking no-no. It's period. End of day. Discussion. It's like, well, we've got to, we'll just put it off. We'll redo the pipeline. We'll reintegrate some of the node configurations to increase the quality of the pipeline. No. That's not happening. It's not. I mean, where is it coming from? Is it on our server end? Is it in our software end? Where is this? Is it hardware or software? You isolate the incident, you isolate the problem, and you fix it. You resolve it. Like, I've never been to ZeniMax. I've never seen their hardware. If I went there, I wouldn't give a fuck about the content. I wouldn't check out, okay, what are you guys running here? What's going on? Let's check this out. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. Let's open up the source code. Let's get down to it. I'd be like totally drooling in Nerdville. But at the end of the day, what's the resolution? Well, if you can't isolate the problem, you can't resolve it. So isolating the problem needs to be priority. Then you need to do whatever it takes to get it to work. Bugs are going to happen in every game. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. 100%. I have no problem with bugs. That's what I did as a tester. Hunt down bugs, report them. When they get to them, that's on them. Was their end of the deal. My end of the deal was just isolating them, finding them, and pinpointing them, finding a needle within a haystack. So, regardless, it's like, where it's at. Now, are you going to do anything about it? Even if you know where it's at, what are you going to do now that you are aware of it? What are you going to do? I mean, how do you resolve it? So I'm going to say this. I wish the best for ZeniMax Online Studio. I wish the best for the player base playing Elder Scrolls Online. I wish everybody the best. I have no animosity. Okay? I'm talking from an unbiased perspective, but I'm also talking from relative players' perception and the facts of what's going on and the reality of the situation. Right? You can go ahead and paint everything to be pretty, like the original poster said. You can make it look pretty. You can add all the content. You can put all these really fancy things in a game that will get a player to come here, but can you keep them? That's the moneymaker. Can you keep them? That's where all that money starts piling up. Is in retention. And if you can't sustain it, you lose it. So if you're one of these players, if you are one of these individuals saying they're going to improve the server, they're talking, they said it's going to happen, I wouldn't hold my breath. And when am I coming back to Elder Scrolls Online? Only time will tell. Maybe when it's a, dead game and, the servers can, perform with an X amount of players, then maybe it'll be worthy for me to go back. But with as many players, and to tell you the truth, I mean, that's why you upgrade, because you're increasing your server populance. That's why you do upgrades. But in its current configuration, it's not. For me personally, I'm not going back to Elder Scrolls anytime soon. I'm not going back with Elsewhere. I don't plan on coming back this year at all. Now, if tomorrow they decide, hey, you know what, we need to, we're going to increase the servers. We're putting more towards the server end. Yeah, cool. I'm there. I'll be there. I will be. I'll be there. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Without no hesitation. I will be there. Why? Because it's my favorite game. It's my favorite lore. It's my favorite environment. And the devs do a great job. So, no, I'm not going to rag on anybody in that capacity. All right? So, once again, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystic MMOs. And, as always, thank all of you. And I wish you the best.